It is Wednesday, May the 17th. The Eastern Conference Finals kick off tonight when the Cleveland Cavaliers travel to Boston to face the Celtics. Cleveland a 4-point favorite at BetSafe, 219.5 the total in this game. A lot of people expecting the Cavs to roll here. They've looked so good in this postseason. After all, they've swept both of their series, so 8-0 in these playoffs. And they've had a week to rest while Boston just 2 games removed from a hard-fought Game 7 victory over the Washington Wizards. But I have a feeling the Celtics might put up a fight in this one for a few reasons. Number one, the layoff. The fact that Boston's only been off for 2 days while Cleveland has been resting for a week, that doesn't necessarily always work in the favor of the team that has been resting, especially when the team that just played, Boston in this case, is playing at home, as the Celtics are. Wouldn't surprise me if the Celtics were the sharper team, especially in the early going here. And keep in mind, the Cavs were not a good road team this season. Now, I know they've yet to lose in these playoffs, but during the regular season, Cleveland 51-31 overall, but actually sub 500 on the road, 20-21 away from home. The Celtics, meanwhile, have been great at home all season, 30-11 at home in the regular season. But it's more than that. I think Boston really matches up better with Cleveland, certainly than Toronto did or than Indiana in the first round. Even though, keep in mind, the Pacers played the Cavs tight for 4 games. All 4 of those games were tight. It was only in the last series when Cleveland was really able to dominate. But look, I think the Celtics going to be able to put up more of a fight here. When you look at what the Cavs have been doing, they've been doing it with their tremendous offense. And there really is no answer to LeBron James when you have shooters spread around him like the Cavs do. I mean, guys like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver, Channing Frye. It really never ends. Cavs have a lot of guys who can really shoot the ball, and they have the very best player in the NBA, LeBron James, orchestrating it all. And look, if you thought LeBron James wasn't the best player in the NBA, I think he reminded you in this postseason, or so far in this postseason. LeBron, 6 straight 30-point games right now, and he has become the first player in NBA history to amass at least 275 points, 70 rebounds, and 50 assists in the first 8 playoff games of a season. So LeBron continues to add his legacy, write more pages in the history books, etc. But look, LeBron's a great player, but the Cavs wouldn't be able to do what they're doing without all the shooters spread around LeBron. It's the 3-point shooting of Cleveland has really done the damage here. In their last series, for example, against Toronto, the Cavs outscored the Raptors 183-81 from the 3-point line. That's 102 points in just 4 games. I mean, that's insurmountable. The team outscores you by over 100 points from the 3-point line in just 4 games. But that is not going to happen in this series for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Celtics shoot the 3-ball better than Toronto does. But maybe more importantly, the Celtics really defend the 3-point line well. As a matter of fact, Boston was number 2 in the NBA this season in terms of 3-point defense. They only allowed the opposition to shoot 33.2% from the 3-point line. Cleveland, meanwhile, was 18th in that stat. Celtics also second in this postseason. They've been even better in that category in the postseason, allowing just 31% shooting from the 3-point line. Cleveland, meanwhile, 8th out of the playoff teams, allowing their opponents to shoot 35%. But of course, the Cavs not being great defensively on the perimeter, that's not news to anybody. This Cleveland team is not particularly good defensively. They're just not. 20th in the NBA this season in terms of points allowed. They allowed their opponents to score 107.2 points per game. And even in these playoffs, even though they've been so good, they've allowed 102 points or more in 7 of their 8 playoff games. And Boston is better offensively than Indiana or Toronto. Now, Cleveland did beat Boston 3 of the 4 times they met this season, though they did split the 2 games in Boston. But the Celtics had a lot of success offensively in those 4 games. They averaged over 108 points per game. And look, they're going to be able to get their shots. They're going to be able to get what they want on the offensive end throughout this series. The question is, can they compete with just what Cleveland brings in terms of the offensive barrage? LeBron at his absolute peak, and if you've been watching him throughout these playoffs, you know he is still LeBron at his peak. Those who are talking about LeBron's decline, I'm afraid that talk has just a bit early. It's been proven. So LeBron at his peak, surrounded by some great shooters. Can the Celtics outscore those guys 4 times out in 7 games? Probably not. So, look, I think Cleveland probably going to win this series. But this game 1 in Boston, Cavs hadn't played in 7 days, Celtics at home getting 4 points. I don't know. I think I might like the Celtics in this situation. I think Boston plays them tough here. and might be able to pull the upset. Keep in mind, look, I know Cleveland has a transcendent player in LeBron James. Isaiah Thomas is pretty good himself, and the Cavs do not have anybody who can check Isaiah Thomas. He averaged nearly 30 points a game, 29.5 in 4 games against Cleveland this season. So he'll be doing what he does. The Celtics will be able to find open shots on the offensive end. They really need to hold up on rebounding. I mean, we know rebounding is probably Boston's biggest weakness. I do think Brad Stevens will go big more in this series than he has the past couple of series. I think we're going to see Al Horford and Amir Johnson playing together a lot. Horford has been great throughout these playoffs. Johnson has been a no-show. If the Celtics are going to keep Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love off the glass, they will need both Horford and Johnson and Kelly Olynyk and all their big men to pitch in. They really need to rebound the ball well in this series. But look, I think they have a chance, especially when they're at home, to really play Cleveland tough here throughout this series. I think the Celtics are going to steal at least a game or two, might be able to steal this game 1. I do like them as a 4-point underdog here. Look, folks, I wish you best of luck no matter what you decide to do in this game, just so long as you don't bet on Cleveland +4. Enjoy the game, folks. I know I will.